Keir Starmer's justification that he didn't really break the rules when he was illegally drinking with his colleagues massively backfires, as the general public are now asking him to resign for being a liar and incompetent. Just when the Boris ship was sinking, I knew this was going to happen. Keir Starmer messed it up again. As usual, he just had to open his mouth or open his bottle of beer, and he is now saving Boris Johnson. So well done, Starmer, for completely ruining everything. Just when the Labour Party was just about going up in the opinion polls, this happens, and now they're going back down again slowly. So Starmer is a gift that just keeps on giving. It's completely embarrassing right now. He was on TV this morning on BBC and all the channels to just talk about how he wasn't really breaking the rules when he was breaking the rules with his colleagues, with his Labour colleagues, MPs and everybody else. The people who he doesn't really, they're not in the same social bubble during lockdown because they are from different offices. They're from different, workplaces. And at one point they were working, and then somehow they ended up having a drink and having food. He has his own reasons. Watch this.
I was in a constituency office just days before the election. We were very busy. We were working in the office, and we stopped for something to eat. And then we carried on working. That is the long, the short of it. No party, no breach of the rules, and absolutely no comparison with the Prime Minister. And
Okay, firstly, they stopped for a minute to have food. Was having beer necessary to have food while working? I mean, at best, let's just say, if it's not breaking the rules, you guys are just bad because this is just not a sign of professionalism. You're not just like random people in a pub, just like, working on your laptops, like a startup techie, Silicon Valley sort of people. You're supposed to be the future government, and you're apparently having beer while having a bit of food for 2 minutes, and then you're going to go back to work. He's going to get more destroyed because that was was against the rules.
And then we carried on.
Rules in place, and the guidance, the workplace guidance that was in place at the time. Participants should physically attend meetings only where reasonably necessary. There should not be any sharing of food and drink by staff who do not share a household.
I mean, it's not that difficult to understand. You were supposed to be working from home, and if necessary, you could go to a meeting. But that's it, social distance meeting. And now you just did this. The thing is, if he's going to go with the whole argument that, we were just, work gathering, we just sat down for a bit to eat and drink, why did Keir Starmer freak out over this photo? That we freaked out for obvious reasons, but this photo there's no context, right? All we know is that they are all colleagues, and the Prime Minister's there. Yeah, his wife happens to be there, which is doesn't really help the argument. But ignore Carrie for a second. The rest of them are colleagues. They could just say, well, we sat down for 2 minutes to have wine and cheese. Same thing, same argument as Starmer. So I'm saying that Starmer has no leg to stand on because it's the same thing that's happened. The Prime Minister could have the same excuse. And this is the issue. The second problem is, I don't know if you noticed that during that interview, his defense line was to deflect. There's no comparison between this and what the Prime Minister did. And this was Labour HQ telling all the MPs and anyone who went on TV, including Streeton, to do the exact same line, and it's so robotic and it's so boring, and that's why people hate the Labour Party.
And it is no comparison to the Prime Minister.
There's no comparison between Keir Starmer following the rules in 2021 and Boris Johnson breaking the rules in 2020. No comparison. There's no comparison. There's no comparison.
Let me just double check. Is there any comparison? Apparently there's not comparison between drinking beer and drinking wine. That's bad. There's a problem. We have to call it out. We have to also hold Starmer to account. We also have to scrutinise the Labour Party because right now there's a trial by media when it comes to Boris Johnson on Downing Street. Boris Johnson right now, his position is completely destroyed. There's no chance, and his policies are ruining the country. And if he stays, the Tory party could lose the next election anyway. We get that. But it should not be the job of the BBC or Sky News to, in a biased way, to find evidence against him, but stay quiet over Starmer until certain papers and websites like Guido Fawkes and this channel start talking about Starmer, and then suddenly they say, okay, fine, let's talk about Starmer and Labour as well. It's got being biased and in the wrong way. And this is why Starmer right now should not be the alternative option. If you're going to be against Boris Johnson, like, obviously criticize Boris Johnson and, call for him to resign, don't do it just because you think you're going to have to support the Labour Party. That's just a bad idea. But the best choice that we have until the next election is for the Tory party to pick a better leader, so that at least they could destroy this guy. Because if they win, it's going to be a lot of issues, a lot of other problems as well. So right now, as the Mirror said, they're going with their own line, that Starmer is saying that Boris Johnson's party is over, Britain deserves a government that shows respect. Well, then in that case, it can't be you, Starmer, because you did not show respect when it comes to the rules. You did not show respect when it comes to your own voters that voted for you to have conviction with policies. You show no respect when it comes to British democracy when we voted to leave the European Union, and you tried every attempt to block Brexit and the will of the people. You showed no respect to the political system and to people up and down this country, and it should not be you who will be the next Prime Minister. I will try my best to make sure that that doesn't happen. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for all the support. I'm going to come back with more updates either later tonight or tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.